Koto katoa and welcome to the Petone Recreational Ground. It's McBain Shield Day. Petone, the hosts, taking on the defending champions Hutt Old Boys Marist. This is also a top of the table clash in the Swindale Shield in round 7. And joining myself for commentary today is a man who just loves this day, Adam Julian. Adam, McBain Shield brings out the best in everyone, and we've got a big crowd here in the grandstand.
McBain, it sounds like a Simpsons villain, but this saga has been going for 9 decades, and it isn't a joke. It's Hutt against Petone. The rivalry began in 1934, and Hutt won by 6-5, but they struggled for decades to prize the McBain Shield from the Eagles' grasp. In fact, from 1953 to 1984, Petone won the McBain Shield every year, and then in 1985, Hutt at last won it when Russell Poole, now chairman of the Wellington Rugby Union, scored a try in a meritorious 4-3 victory. Since then, Hutt have been a very competitive outfit. Of the 86 occasions these two sides have played, Hutt have only won 20, but 13 since 2000, and they won last year's game by 35-26. A beefy pack and organised effort, giving Hutt Old Boys Marist a memorable victory after they conceded the first try to Richard Squid Evans. With us in commentary this afternoon is a man who's very familiar with the history of the McBain Shield. He played it, he coached it, he played 100 games as a premier player for Petone, and his son has also played 100 games for Petone, and he's running the cutter for the Villagers. Peter Green, welcome to the broadcast. Now, there's a northerly and dark clouds around. How do you think the weather's going to influence the tactics this afternoon?
Well, it's a classic cliche. It's a game of two halves, isn't it? It's one team going into the wind and one team going with it. And the first 10 minutes of the game is basically taken up getting to know each other. So if I was the captain, I'd be tossing the coin to go into the wind at the moment.
Petone are 6-0 this season. Hutt Old Boys Marist 5-0 this season. They were defaulted to by Johnsonville last Saturday. What impact is that likely to have, Peter?
Well, it can go psychologically, it can go two ways, really. Hutt will be refreshed and being able to go through the game plan, looking at what Petone do and run that really well. The other thing, Petone played another hard game against Marist last week. They got knocked around a little bit hard into it, but I think both teams are carrying injuries, so it's going to come down to who can hang in there the longest, I think.
The home team is Petone. The grandstand at the recreational ground is packed. Let's introduce the home roster, beginning with their back line. At fullback is Ben Brooken. On the wings, Richard Evans and Mason Henry. The midfield pairing is Lester Mailolo and Jared Adams. The halves are Karen Green and Cam Ferreira. The loose ball trio is Tupu Sopalonga, Jacob Gooch and Samuel Tornesi. The locks are Jack Ross and Ta'amailo Ba'a. And the front row is Yona Apaneri, Caleb Sinclair and Alapati Soki.
Yeah, well, the team's pretty sound, really. There's a lot of players that have come into a place. I think Petone got 6 players out from last week, but a lot of the players that have replaced them have come in and played time for the A team in the last 3 or 4 games. So, yeah, she's going to be tight. I looked at the Hutt Old Boys team, and they had 4 players not named, so it'll be interesting to see who fills their spots. So it's going to come down to the wire.
Jordan Gillies leads out Hutt Old Boys Marist, the captain wearing jersey 5 this afternoon. That's a positional switch for Gillies, who's typically a flanker. The Hutt Old Boys Marist lineup is as follows. At fullback, Zane Ainsley. On the wings, Fritz Rayasi and Peredi Soloa. The midfield pairing is Jerome Hiramati and the experienced Francis Talabasa. The halves are Brandon Lawson and Connor Collins, 28 games for the Wellington Lions. The loose ball trio is Mike Alapatu, William Rua and Matt Sleep. The before mentioned Jordan Gillies is at 5. I see him up a layer in 4, and the front row, Billy Tofuanga, Ben Power and Brett Manai. That's a very big, experienced and accomplished Hutt team.
It is a very big team and a very good team. Petone are going to have to watch how they play the game. I think Hutt are going to try and take them on up front. So Petone have to be very careful what they do with the ball. I don't know which teams are playing which way. It looks like Petone may be going into the win. which may help them, I'm hoping.
Earlier this afternoon, the Colts game was drawn 17-all. Petone and Hutt Old Boys Marist. Keen rivalries in the Colts division as well, as Jacob Gooch in his 122nd match leads out Petone. He played a McBain Shield as long ago as 2009. He's played over 10 of them now and is a key figure for Petone. Khan Green, that's your boy at number 10, and last week he celebrated a century of games. That's a special day for Khan.
Yeah, it was pretty special. Very proud of him. It's taken a few years to get there, but he settled into the number 10 position, starting at number 9 earlier on in his career, but he seems to have settled at 10 and steering the ship, and hopefully he does it well today.
Today's referee is Matt Thomas, his 21st Premier appointment. Former swimming champion, he works in insurance during the week. The ball will be kicked off by Zane Ainsley, playing his first McBain Shield. He's represented the Parramatta, Plymouth and Wellington clubs in the recent past. Tighten the seatbelts. McBain 87 is underway. Hutt Old Boys Marist against Petone, and a soaring kickoff is poached by Hutt Old Boys Marist, who immediately swing onto attack inside the 22. Brandon Lawson lifts it to Ainsley, and that's a wide ball for Fritz Rayasi. Rayasi storms towards the 22 and is lowered in an aggressive tackle by Gooch. 20 metres out from the line. Collins, Ben Power strains ahead. Tackled by Ross. 20 metres out from the line. Brandon Lawson, an early drop goal, is charged down by Petone, but the first penalty of the game has been signalled against the host, Brad, and this one is directly in front, 20 metres out.
Directly in front of the post, and the cricket team is running out. Brandon Lawson to take this penalty attempt. Brandon Lawson today in his 126th game, 1,230 points. This tonight, another free product of captain Collins. Last year made his debut for the Wellington Lions. He's a real asset to the Eagles this afternoon.
Brandon Lawson hit the post at 24-20 here 2 years ago with about 6 minutes left. Petone rallied to win 32-24. He'll be hoping to be on target early. He's the leading point scorer among active players in Wellington Club Rugby. Holds the record for the most points in a senior club match, 52 against Rimataka in 2013. The first strike of the afternoon by Brandon Lawson is sent through, and Hutt Old Boys Marist lead by 3-0. A comment from Peter Green.
Yeah, I think Hutt Old Boys have started quite well. They played down Petone end, got the points, and gone back again after 1 minute 53. I think Petone look a bit flat, they look a little bit nervous, and I think they've got to get into the game early. So we'll see what happens next.
Khan Green with the restart, and underneath it, William Jersey 22 is Rome Haramate, and he's been taken 5 out from the 22. Collins passes back into the 22. It's Lawson with the high carry on. Underneath it is Tupo Sopowanga. Sopowanga decides to run it up. He charges into Fritz Rayasi. Brought down 4-way from in front of this grandstand commentary position. Cam Ferreira fires it out to Alapati-Soki. Made out for a solid tackle, and the ball has come loose. Excellent work there by Mafilo on defence, and so the Eagles now back on attack. Connor Collins reaching in. He goes for the box kick, and it goes over the top of Mason Henry. He has to run back inside his own 22. Passes it infield to Brooking. Ian Brooking, product of St. Peter's College kicks. And it's just gone into the hands of the very dangerous Zane Ainsley, fullback for the Eagles. And here he is, charging into the 22. And he's been brought down. Massive, dangerous weapon is Zane Ainsley. Collins out to his left, has been kicked through by Lawson. And it's gone into touch. And so early stages there of the very dangerous Zane Ainsley.
There was a huge tackle by Brett Lanaya on Public Software. Jolted the ball free from Petone's grasp and then quick to swing on to attack Ainsley. He's really been terrific this season. He glided effortlessly inside the 22, and Petone was stretched on the short side. That seems to be a deliberate tactic of the Eagles early on, hitting the short side and looking to capture Petone napping. They've got two very big winners in Rayasi and Salah. Petone lacking for size there, and now they've overthrown the line out, an error by number 2, Caleb Sinclair. This is a good start by Hutt Old Boys Marist and Peter. They seem to be hitting that short side early with some good effectiveness.
Yeah, they're putting real pressure on, and we're sort of watching the game a little bit. We've got to get a little bit more involved in the game, otherwise we're going to come second.
The first meeting of the concrete mixers, the scrum battle. Lanaya marking Apaneru, Tauwhanga marking Soki. Hutt Old Boys Marist have their entire back line on the blind side. Brandon Lawson at first receiver. Tanavasa is dangerous in 12. Here's Connor Collins. Brandon Lawson inside for Tanavasa. Met solidly by Jared Adams. 10 metres out from the line. Alai Fatu, industrious number 8. He's tackled by Va'a. 5 metres out from the line. Ben Power, extravagant dummy, crawls tenaciously towards the line. He's narrowly short. This is rugged, organised play by Hutt Old Boys Marist, and they crash over for the first try of the afternoon. 8-0, 5 minutes played, Brad.
5 minutes played, and it's the Eagles striking early. It appears to be it's Jordan Gillies, the captain, who's gone over and scored for the Eagles. This is 8-0, the conversion to come. And yet again, a strong set piece, Adam, off the back of that scrum. And for Petone, they have to work very hard on that area.
Jordan Gillies claiming the try. Hutt Old Boys Marist making a start. The opposite of last year. Remember, they were down 10-0. Now they could be ahead 10-0. Well, Peter, Petone haven't touched the ball yet. This has been a very polished and assertive start by the Eagles.
It looks like Petone are watching the game and letting Hutt Old Boys play it. We need to get into the game. We've got to stop little mistakes. We've got to hold the ball and build some phases. We're not doing that at the moment. The first thing we've got to do is get back, get our hands on the ball, keep it and build some phases.
Brandon Lawson made his long-awaited Wellington Lions debut last year against Northland. Scored a try. And he punches that conversion through. And Hutt Old Boys Marist lead by 10-0. Only 7 minutes played at the Petone Rec, which is well occupied with hearty spectators this afternoon. You know it's McBain Shield Day, Brad, with the Marist are out. Khan Green with a wonky restart, fielded just outside the 22 by Haramate. Tonisia strong tackle, and then Mailolo tackles the next receiver for Hutt Old Boys Marist. Ben Power throws a pass which Gillies punches into the hands of Raymond Naya. The Richter scale begins to rumble as the loose head prop charges towards halfway. Jordan Gillies, a rear kick juggled by Sopoanga. Left foot kick was rather aimless, and it bounces favourably for Collins, and his left foot strike finds Khan Green in the peroxide haircut. Khan Green chips it halfway, fielded by Collins in retreat. Brandon Lawson, that distinctive, powerful right boot, dispatches Petone back inside their 22, and Brad, that looks like an error in judgment by Ben Brooking.
Yes, he had his foot on the line, so it's going to be a line out, a set piece for the Eagles inside Petone's 22 again. This error's creeping in this opening 10 minutes for Petone. We're seeing Hutt Old Boys using this northerly wind effectively at him. A few weeks ago, I was here calling Petone versus Orange. The northerly that day was just chaotic. That time, there's a knock on at the line out for the Eagles. No, that's a free kick, according to referee Matt Thomas. So the Eagles have the ball and they decide to tap it going. Here goes Ben Power, charging forward, 5 away from the line. Gillies at the back, they rumble forward. Petone's defence being tested again. 3-0 down, 10-0 down on the scoreboard. And looks like it's going to be a potential another try here for the Eagles.
Brandon Lawson hit that ball like an absolute missile. It was over the line, but unfortunately he dropped it. That's a real lifeline for Petone. Lawson's combination with Connor Collins is irresistible so far. And Peter, Petone's ruck defence very vulnerable. Hutt Boys Marist using their big men to smash it around the corner, and Petone slipping off early tackle.
Yeah, as I said before, we're watching the movie and we're not participating. We're going to start participating and go forward. We just seem to be watching and letting them do whatever they want to do. We've got to get in the game.
Cam Ferreira is number 9 for Petone. He's in his 39th Premier match this afternoon. He replaced Logan Henry, who's in Sydney. The Hurricanes, they play with Waratahs tonight at Leichhardt Oval. Now watch for Brett Mania in jersey 1 to really apply heat in the scrum. Just as I say that, Matt Thomas gives a penalty.
He certainly does. And that's for the Eagles, the front row. Not holding the weight, going down, so a bit of relief there for Petone. They will have the line out 5 outside their 22 on the Welltech side of Petone recreational ground. Now, Adam, you were talking about mullets before. I must say there was a few bogan mullets in that Colts game for the Eagles earlier. It was a footing game. Went down to the wire, ended up being a draw. Good 6-4 line up for Petone. Kick it through, trying to catch the Eagles off guard. Line's been hacked through again, but it's rolled in the touch. So, drama starting to creep through in this game.
The first try was scored by Jordan Gillies of Hutt Boys Marist. 10-0 they lead. McBain 87. This game has been played annually since 1934. Ben Power with a nice throw, caught by Mapaleo. Advantage being played for Hutt Boys Marist as Collins sends a skyscraper in the direction of Evans, who can't secure, but Petone are offside and it's a penalty. And this one's in range for the prolific Brandon Lawson.
Another shot at goal here for Brandon Lawson. I wonder if Petone is just a bit rattled from last week, losing three of their key players, particularly last week. Peter Lakai, who was outstanding in the game against Marist St. Pat's, and also Riley Higgins and Harry Godfrey at fullback. I'm just thinking, are they missing those players, and has that sort of rattled their cage heading into this game?
Absolutely, those 3 individuals, very talented. Higgins scored in his last 7 Premier games. And Lakai is a source of real inspiration. But Peter, you mentioned that Petone have been guilty of watching. They're very subdued. What can they do though to arrest that situation?
Well, they've got to get their hands on the ball and start to feel comfortable with it. Once they do that, they can work their phases, as I said. But we've got to get our hands on the ball. Hutt are playing a very smart game. They're playing down Petone end. They're taking the points when they're on offer. And you can't play against that unless you get the ball back in your hand.
That was a low missile kick by Brandon Lawson, which bisected the uprights. He's kicked 3 out of 3, and Hutt Boys Marist lead by 13-0. Petone seems shell-shocked at the moment. There's very little communication out there. This is an unfamiliar position for the Villagers. 6-0 this season. Carn Green's a restart. Falls favourably for Fritz Rayasi. He's built like a freight train, but he puts a rather lame kick in at halfway, but it's been snackled by Hutt Boys Marist. Mahe bumps into Adams at the 10-metre mark, centre field. Connor Collins, a line up to his left. Mania caught by Va'a, 40 metres out from the line. Collins playing with such authority. Brandon Lawson's right foot again. Turning around Henry, who gathers 10 metres out from the line, and another penalty, Brad.
Well, this time here, the Hutt Boys backline was in front of the kicker. Seen a lot of this over the last 2 weekends of club rugby. There was a lot of it at Corbini Park last weekend in the Jimmy Gerbich match. That's the eastern suburbs equivalent of the McBain. And it's an area that the referees are definitely working on at the moment, is watching those players in front of the kicker. As Carn Green kicks the ball into the grandstand touchline, and it's going to be a line out 15 metres inside Eagles territory. Caleb Sinclair, the hooker for today, previously from Upper Hutt, played there in 2019, 3 games. was part of the Wellington Centurion Bees last season. A line-out opportunity here. There goes the ever-reliable Jack Ross, who brought up his 100th game against Oriental Rongotai a few weeks ago. They tried to get them all going, but it's been brought down. It's available to play. It's a penalty. This time there, it's Matthew Sleeth, number 6 jersey for the Eagles, just simply going off his feet and sealing the ball. So another opportunity for Green. Get the ball into touch and another line out, and this time it's just ever so close to 10 away from the Norwood try line. The forwards for Petone this season, Adam, they've really put in a lot of hard work. We've seen the conversion of Yonat Apanhiru from a flanker to a prop. He was on our second episode this year for the Huddy Hui, Adam, and look to see that target again of Jack Ross. And they get the ball into quarantine. And they charge it forward. Sinclair at the back. Ferreira guiding it. Manaya trying to crawl his way out of there. And the ball comes back to Mr. Maholo. And they wrap around him quickly. Sopawanga. Bunsen. The Eagles defence holding up for now. Can Petone get on the ball? Peter Green, what are the options here for Petone?
Slowly reaches over into the line. They've just got to hold the ball, and just be patient, and it'll come. Yep, the penalties come. So hopefully, a bit of a handbag's been thrown, but she's okay.
There's a double blast of the whistle, and it's going to be a yellow card. The Eagles are down to 14. And it is Francis Tonufasa who has been sent to the sin bin. Deliberate act of slowing down the play. And Petone, with that extra man advantage in, they're going to put down a scrum.
Well, that's really unnecessary from Francis Tonufasa. Hutt have a comfortable 13-0 advantage and a lapse in discipline from an experienced player. He's nearly played a century of games. Francis Tonufasa has potentially left the door ajar here for Petone. They have a midfield scrum, 22 metres out, being one of the likely options.
I would have taken the point, but never mind. They're gonna have a crack. So obviously their halfback's going to put the ball in, and Cam Ferreira, and he's going to read his options. We have to have a square scrum for anything to work. So either Tupa Sapawanga will come off the back, or I would say Cam Ferreira will pass straight out to Ben Hawkins on the right-hand side of the track. So we'll wait and see. Here we go. Here comes the scrum.
It's stable for Petone. Khan Green on the short side. Rampage Adams. He fends off Lawson. He's close to the line. Tackled by Reasi on the 5x5. Sopawanga ploughs ahead. Hutt meet him with fierce resistance. Here's Petone's best moment of the game. They're 5 metres out from the line. Yona Apaneru, hands on the ball. Backs his way aggressively into the heart of the Marist defence. Good tackle by Gillies. Petone 2 metres out from the line. Ferreira paddles the ball behind for one of his forwards, and he tries to sneak over. So can't extract himself from the pile of bodies, and a scrum will form. This is much better from Petone. And they will have a scrum, 10 in from the grandstand side, about 5 metres out from the line.
Another scrum for Petone. The Eagles defence holding out for now. Here's an interesting fact. Adam Ben Brooken playing fullback today for Petone. His early years playing for Petone, he was actually a halfback. Halfback of that Barnum Cup final back in 2016. Hutt winning that day 17 points to 5. Played at the Hutt recreational ground under lights. Continuing rivalry between these two lower Hutt rivals. At Petone scrum at the back, they roll it forward. Connor Collins tries to come around. It's come out loose, and Ali Fatu has come out with the ball. But he is surrounded. The ball's come out again. Petone have it. Gooch surround quickly. The Eagles shut him down. He's a menace. Khan Green, acting halfback. Out to Adams. Va'a. Pick and goes are working for Petone so far. Hapanero, former head boy of St. Pat Silver Street, on secondary schools in 2018. Alapati Soki, free away from the line. Adel Stations, it's another penalty. And hands in the ruck. It's now about the fourth penalty inside. Eagles 22 within the last 5 minutes, Adel. And there's going to be another warning given out here to Jordan Gillies. Could this potentially be that the next penalty could be another yellow card down to 13?
What it is another chance for the Petone forward pack to scrummage. They scrummaged very powerfully in that previous push, but unfortunately they didn't control the hook, and that enabled the Hutt Marist number 8 to scamper away 15 metres, but he was isolated by Gooch at the breakdown. Petone reclaimed the ball, and they look very effective on attack, but they need to perhaps have more width in their game. Peter, they've got a lot of speedsters out wide, and I don't know if they're going to beat Hutt by playing the muscle game necessarily.
I think you're so right, yeah. I think that's a confidence thing I was talking about too, is that they've got to be confident to move the ball wide. They seem to want to keep the ball close for some reason, but it all depends on the scrum. The scrum's got to be square and moving forward. And once that happens, you've got your options. So I think it could be on to go wide this time. You're right.
Petone down by 13. The first quarter of the McBain Shield has elapsed. Ferreira, this nippy halfback out of Hutt International Boys School. Tupu Sopoanga's 64th game this afternoon. He scored a hatful of tries, blasting off the back of the scrum. Jacob Gooch in the McBain Shield 2 years ago left the field about this stage of the game with a broken arm. He smashed into Yona Apanero. He spent 6 hours on a morphine drip at the hospital and still found time for a beer at the clubhouse. But those thoughts are a long way from the present reality. Petone with Henry isolated on the blind side, and Khan Green drifting around the corner now. Sopoanga provides for Ferreira. Green fast hands. Henry for the corner. Petone on the score sheet. 13-5. And Peter Green picked it. They went wide and they scored.
Yeah, patience paid off. They decided they had a good scrum, kept it square, and just slowly waited and waited. Khan Green came round from the open side to the short side. They passed the ball through and scored in the corner. Great try.
Excellent work by Petone, using their extra man advantage well back in that scrum. And it's Khan Green who's down in the 22. So it's going to be Ben Brooking to take over the kicking duties. Ben Brooking, 87 points. His 54th game, he brought up his Blazer game against Oris, round 3. And that kick doesn't really have the radar. Khan Green is back on his feet. He's a gutsy player. He won't give up easily, will he, Peter?
No, he gets it from his mother.
The first try for Petone scored by Mason Henry. 33rd game for the club this afternoon. His brother Logan is in the Hurricanes. And another brother, Taylor, has played Premier football for Petone. Papasoki in game 59 is down receiving some attention. The Petone scrum has been good so far. Hutt Boys Marist completely dominated the first 15 minutes. And the first try was scored by Jordan Gillies. Here's Ainsley with a long restart, which is out on the full. So Hutt Boys Marist, really the architects of their own demise at the moment. Francis Tanavasa in the sin bin for descent. And now the most basic error from the kickoff. Petone haven't involved Richard Evans yet. He scored 7 tries in his last 5 games. And you were here fortnight ago when Ori's and Petone played blinder and Mr. Malolo was on fire that day, Brett.
It certainly was, Adam. He got the winner, and that was a courtesy of an error by Rory Tarongatai, which followed by a wreck here. And then Riley Higgins managed to catch open that defence and passed it out to Malolo. Went over to score. He's a product of St. Patrick's College Silverstream, playing his 63rd game today. Cam Ferreira picks it through. Ainsley having to chase forward, and it just goes into touch. And that's going to be a 50-20, Adam. Excellent work there by Petone, and they will have the line-out feed. 10 inside the Eagles 22, northern end of Petone recreational ground. I came down here last night to look at this pristine field. RFC running on halfway, and we've got a camera platform in the grandstand now. Adam, great work of Gordy from the club. He put that in. There's even talk of another one being put in.
We appreciate everybody's hospitality and efforts to keep the commentators covered and engaged in the contest. The lineup has been claimed by Jack Ross. Petone lock the ball in quarantine and begin to muscle forward. Hutt have resisted that charge though. Ferreira for Green. A jab kick for Malolo to pursuit. Ainsley has it covered. That violent shrill of the whistle represents a penalty. Well, Matt Thomas is very hard on these two teams this afternoon, but it's a McBain shield, and often they can be tense, tough affairs. 13-5, and one of the options here, Peter, Petone building some momentum. They could reduce the deficit to 5 with a kick, but they've chosen the line out instead.
I think their line-out's going well. Jack Ross is winning the ball every time they've thrown it to him, so I think they're going to try and drive the line out again. And I think they're only 5 metres out, so I think they'll have a crack to try and drive it through. If they can, if it doesn't work, I think they'll move the ball out. Someone like Jared Adams, let him have a crack.
Jack Ross secures in 2 hands. Petone attempt the rolling maul, but it bustles over the sideline. So that's good defence by Hutt Old Boys Marist. Jack Ross, 104th game this afternoon for Petone. Ben Power, a short throw, finds Raymond Nyer. Now, how did Raymond Nyer get off the ground and jump for that line out? And here comes the other Nyer. And he's tackled by Sinclair, 15 metres out from the line. Ruck forms, Connor Collins, left foot kick, floating it down towards Richard Squid Evans. At last he touches the ball. Khan Green, serious turn of pace, chugs into midfield, and he's enveloped by a nest of Eagles, and they've wrenched a turnover. Collins throws an intercept for Malolo. 4 Eagles, 1 less to Malolo. Collins tackle at the 22, forces an error. Brandon Lawson, a big right foot punt, which forces Mangan to raise the flag at halfway. Well, that was a wild sequence of play. Lester Malolo almost escaping the grasp of Connor Collins, but he made an excellent recovering tackle.
Fantastic roll there by Connor Collins, the dynamic halfback, got back there just in time. They caused that knock on. Collins, another Wellington line on the field today, is a product of St. Paul's Collegiate from Hamilton. So you're seeing the experience of playing at that first class level here. Caleb Sinclair with the line out throw. Right on halfway. Light drizzle across the ground. Look for that reliable target of Ross again. But it's been well taken there by a Philo, but the ball's back from Petone. And they take it towards the 22. Ross brought down to inside the 22. The ball for Ferreira. Looks again, it's a loose pass, but it's still there for Petone. Ferreira again. It's been lost. Now, at the end of the day, you can't make errors like that when you're hot on attack at him.
Big charge by Ross down the sideline. Made 20 metres, but then unfortunately Socky was at first receiver when that ball really needed to be shifted into the backs, and Petone would jumble and lost the ball. But Peter, at the moment this game, you get the impression that it's hanging by a tightrope and waiting for one team to seize control.
there's a lot of pressure on out there, and that little mistakes creeping in from both sides, and I think it's going to be the team that makes less mistakes is going to win the game, to be honest.
That drizzle is very tricky as well. It's that misty rain which makes ball handling very difficult. Sometimes it's easier as a player if it just pelts down rather than that misty rain which gives the ball a soap-like complexion. Here's Brandon Lawson employing that right boot again. Kicks it in between Karen Green and Ben Brooking. What can he do? He's confronted by Ainsley, and he's kicked it straight to a Petone player who's 40 metres offside, but the ball touched an eagle, and now Petone swing on to attack. Here's Gooch. Henry, a juggle, a catch, a skid. He's 15 out from the 22. Ferreira, Apaneru, belted by Gillies. 35 metres out from the line. Ferreira, Gooch, dummies to Fritz Rayasi. Takes the tackle. 5 out from the 22. The ball is slow for Petone, and it's a turnover for Jordan Gillies. He got Gooch by the Jordan Gillies there, folks. And Hutt preserves their 13-5 lead.
And he celebrated like that. He was on the floor at Siglo. Referee Thomas having a word to Jacob Gooch. Just they were happy after that penalty, and they're going to be March 10 as well for Backchat. So a bit of discipline slipping up for Petone.
When Malcolm Gillies has built half of Wellington, it's really not useful to argue with him there. A comment from Peter Griffin.
Yeah, Hutt are putting a lot of pressure on Petone. They're not standing down there, and Petone have to stand up a little bit more and have a crack at them back. This line-out's going to be thrown in by Hutt old boys, and we'll see what happens here. Petone have to get down and shut Hutt down. We need to get our hands on the ball more.
Hello, boys. Marist have assembled a rolling ball, and they advance play. 10 inside Hutt territory. Minaya, an enormous halfback, takes the tackle of Socky. 15 out from the 22. Ben Power, encouraged by his mother, goes to ground in the tackle of Sinclair. 10 out from the 22. Alai Fatu collides into Ross. Old boys Marist 10 out from the 22. Collins an in ball for Rayasi. Stomps inside the 22 and drags Ferreira to within 15 metres of the line. Tauwhanga, huge tight head prop for the Eagles. Jacob Gooch a tackle. Gillies a dummy and run. Caught by Gooch. Those two attracted to each other like magnets this afternoon. Two old war horses. McBain Shield Day. The best of the Hutt. Where would you rather be? Ben Power at half back. Head down. Backside up. Takes the contact. Here is Minaya. He's 15 metres out. He almost caused a lunar eclipse there. If he turned 360 degrees, it would have been one. That's scrappy. It's Ross fighting earnestly for possession. Eventually the ball is cleared out to Hemate. He's pursued by Adams and then put down by Ross. 25 metres out from the line. 13-5 to score. Gillies crunches it into Ross. Old boys Marist 25 metres out from the line. Tauwhanga driven backwards by Socky. That's some of Petone's best defence. Lawson smothered by Sinclair. 20 metres out from the line. Minaya again takes a heavy shoulder from Sopoanga. Here comes Minaya. Short pass for Willie Rua. He's nailed by Mason Henry. And then another tackle's made by Sinclair as Hutt preserved the ball. 20 metres out from the line. Brandon Lawson, a change in tactics. A kick wild for Salah. That's outrageous. The eagle flies in the corner, and his name is Ferretti Saloa. Hutt boys Marist with some belligerent forward play. Lawson with the space, the time and the vision to pick out Samoa. He wasn't even listed, but now he's on a McBain scorecard.
fantastic team try by the Eagles. And Brandon Lawson, the linchpin for this side, director of the attack. As we have the assistant referees having a discussion with the referee in golf, Daniel Thomas. Potentially some foul play after that try was scored. So we'll wait to see that earnest decision as Gooch and Gillies are waiting to see what the verdict will be. Referee Thomas calls both captains in. Jacob Gooch is very animated and he's pointing to a discretion where number 4 VAR is being. And it looks like we are not going to have a yellow card here. The card comes out again. And we'll just wait and see who the Petone player is that has been yellow card. Looks like Ben Brooking has been put in the sin bin. And so the try will stand, Adam, and the Eagles extend their lead.
18-5, Hutt Boys Marist lead, and it is a relief and a delight that try stands because that was exceptional play by Hutt Boys Marist. And Peter, 5 minutes left until half-time. Petone potentially 15 down following this conversion. This is a big hole.
They're definitely on the ropes here. As I said before, we're watching what happens. Hutt Boys just built that last few phases and built and kept building and building, and then they executed a great move. A ball kicked out to the winger who scored in the corner. We have to get our hands on the ball and start playing rugby. Keep it simple.
Brandon Lawson, imperious again. He's faultless from the tee today. And Hutt lead by 20-5. That's a staggering scoreline. But really, it's reflective of their 4 dominance so far. Manaia and Tauranga have been damaging. And now they have a penalty on halfway. And Brandon Lawson will line up to make it 23-5. Well, Jordan Gillies has instead signalled a kick for the grandstand touchline, and Lawson hasn't found touch, although Henry has botched it, and it's a 5-metre scrum. Well, Brad Hudson, that was a moment of precariousness for Henry. He tried to trap the ball with his foot, but unfortunately it bounced away from him and then rolled rapidly down the hill towards the southern corner, and he tried to sit on the ball, but he got himself in a tangle and it whistled over the dead ball line. And now Hutt have Rayasi at first receiver from this scrum, and this is ominous for Petone.
Ominous for Petone is right. Rich Rayasi, first receiver. The Eagles on the 5x5 look to push this over, but Petone scrum holding it off the back to Alifatu, but it's a penalty, obstruction penalty, so a get out of jail free card for Petone. And Alifatu running into Connor Collins, taking out the Petone player, has resulted in a penalty. Bit of breathing space. So, with 2 minutes left, 20-5 is the score. The Eagles ahead of Petone in this 87th McBain clash. Khan Green looks to get the ball into touch, and it's landed just short of the McBain shield. There'll be a line out on the 10-metre mark. Petone in the middle stages of this first half, Adam, really have been most of the ball. One try to come from it, but really the start in the last sort of 10 minutes of this first half. They've allowed the Eagles to lay claim and dominate.
They've made far too many mistakes and they haven't matched Hutt's aggression. Hutt, huge props, Telefonga and Mania have been dictating terms physically in this one. Shorten line out for Petone. Caleb Sinclair throws. It's spoilt by Ross. And Sinclair is dragged towards the sideline by Mania. Ferreira has it, hesitates, and then is enveloped by Alai-Fatu. 10 out from the 22. Telefonga has bowled through the middle of the ruck and conceded a penalty. Now Jordan Gillies is talking to the referee like Malcolm Tucker this afternoon. He's just absolutely relentless. What a player.
Well, he's certainly in the thick of it. Let's just hope it's not like Malcolm Tucker, as we're going to have a scrum on the 15-metre mark. This will be the last deck for the first half. A set piece for Petone. Peter Green. Can Petone get another try before the half?
Well, they have to really to stay in the game. So really, we've tried to keep the ball close. I think it's time we tried to go wide before half time. So I think that's our option. We've got a scrum here. We've got to do something with it.
Petone scrum. Ferreira with the ball in hand. It's an arm wrestle. It's been a fierce contest. What you expect in a McBain Shield challenge. The Eagles put the shunt on, but Soparanga gets the ball out. Kane Green offloads to Malolo. Just short of the 10-metre mark, centre field. Ferreira dives to pick it himself and go. And the Eagles quickly swarm around him, and it's a penalty. This time hands again by the Eagles. 56 metres out. And Adam, they'll be looking to try and kick potentially to this far touchline and look to use Jack Ross at the line out again.
Well, Jack Ross has been their most productive forward in the lineouts in the first half. He's toiled manfully, but Petone really not meeting the physical resistance of Hutt Boys Marist with the same power and precision that the Eagles have played with in the first half. But Petone is a very fit team. Hutt, by contrast, a big team, and perhaps Petone can call on their bench in the second half to get back into this one, Peter. That's been a strength this season.
Yeah, no, good call. I think small man on big man, it zaps your energy, so you're going to have to look at the Petone bench early in the second half. But I think the Hutt bench isn't too bad either, so we've just got to get our hands on the ball and get over the line, basically.
Jared Adams storms to the 22. This is Petone's last salvo in the first half. Power belts Ross just outside the 22. Yona Apaneri, he's been quiet with ball in hand. He's covered by Tanuvasa at the 22. The ball bobbles around the ruck, and it's a penalty for Petone. Ferreira taps it quickly. He's like Grease Lightning. Cam Ferreira, initiative, pace and class. Petone with the blow just before the interval.
What great vision by Cam Ferreira. He saw that the Eagles were too slow getting off the deck, so he took it quickly, right on the mark, and he darted through to score the second try for Petone. 24 points to 10. The conversion to come. Cam Ferreira, he is a touch rep, and he is also part of the Wellington under-19s in 2019. His father, Jamie, was the coach of Petone until last year. And Cam Ferreira showing how light and fast he is on his feet. Definitely what Petone need of people.
Exactly, Cam's been sitting behind Logan as a halfback for a while. He's been watching what Logan's been doing the last few weeks, and if you watch Logan the last few weeks, he's been tapping and going, and Cam's just been following that, and he did that superbly to get over the line. It's just what Petone did before half-time. Still a lot of work to be done, though.
Kane Green with the conversion attempt, 520 career points. He strikes. Got the distance, but it's drifted away to the right, and so that is going to be half-time here at the Hutt Recreational Ground, and it is the Eagles ahead of Petone. Adam Julian, an exciting first half, but Petone not out this year.
Well, I think 10 points flat. Old Boys Marist. I think Petone were basically completely outplayed in that first half. They didn't meet the aggression of the Eagles, but 10 points is not a bad deficit, and they will turn with the assistance of the Northerly. Brandon Lawson kicked the ball very effectively in that first half. Watch for Khan Green and Ferreira to kick, and I think the bench is going to have a massive impact in this game. Surely Manaia and Tauwhanga can't play 80 minutes. They need the world's biggest nebulizer to keep those two on the field. They've been very good for Boys Marist, but Petone not without optimism in the second half, Peter, and you wouldn't have said that 5 minutes ago when Ben Brooklyn was sent to the Swindale.
No, not at all, and it's going to come down to strategies too. So you've got some big boys out there, as you said, they're going to tire, and it's when you pull them off at the right time and when do you leave them on. And Petone's options are quite small, really. Hutt are a big side. Petone's bench is quite small. We don't have a lot of big guys on there. We have a lot of young guys. So we're going to be very careful on who we bring on when we bring them on as well. At the same time, we're still 10 points behind. We need to make that up to get back in the game. So we've got to start really well in the second half.
Well, it's half-time here at McBain Shield. Let's have a look at the other scores from around the ground at half-time. Here's an interesting one, gentlemen. Avalon, Marist St. Pat's, 7-all, half-time. Port Neki ahead of Johnsonville, 13-10 at Hell Park. Northern United versus Tawa, and what could probably be called the Battle of Transmission Gully now. 17 points to 5 to Norths. Old Boys University over Orange and Rocketide, 13 points to 3. And Wainui ahead of Upper Hutt Rams, 10 points to 9. No score yet between Parramatta, Plummerton and Wellington, but half-time between Avalon and Marist St. Pat's, 7-all. It's, I mean, what people saw that coming on newspaper. Well, this is a Honey Sports production, and we can't do it without our sponsors, our long-serving sponsor, Michael Pitfall Plumbing and Drain Lane. If you need any pipes laid, give Mike a bell. His contacts and details will be at the broadcast at the end of this match. And also to our most new sponsor, Lewis Reedy, New Zealand Travel Brokers. Now is the time to book your tickets to go overseas. You can all fly around the world. Lewis Reedy, he's a local legend here at Petone Rugby Club. New Zealand Travel Brokers having another sponsor for Honey Sports this year makes all the difference.
And we're very grateful for the support of our sponsors. I'll tell you, the only travelling I'd be doing at the moment is I'd be jumping on the bus 110 from Queensgate and getting to the McBain Shield for the second half if you're not here already. Petone down by 10, but they have scored the same number of tries as Hutt Boys Marist, so Hutt Boys Marist opened the scoring with a Brandon Lawson penalty after 90 seconds, and it was 3-0 to the visitors. And then Jordan Gillies, the local captain, bludgeoned his way over for a try, converted by Lawson. That made it 10-0, and then Lawson kicked a second penalty to make it 13-0 before Petone at last struck through the left wing Mason Henry, and then there was the try in the match to Irene Saloa. Hutt Boys Marist enjoyed elongated pressure inside the Hutt 22, and there was a brilliant cross kick provided by Lawson to Saloa, who touched down in the corner. Ben Brooklyn was yellow carded. Lawson kicked the sideline conversion, and at 20-5 it was looking very grim for the Villagers. But just before half-time, Cam Ferreira, that little whippet, scored a try from a quick tack, and the gap is only 10 points heading into the second half. The skies are darkening, the tension is rising. McBain 87, second half is not far away. Petone and Hutt Boys Marist, only really separated by the Ewan Bridge. But who will have bragging rights for the next 12 months and on what side of the bridge will be determined in 40 pulsating minutes. Matt Thomas, the referee. 2 yellow cards in the first half. Tanavasa for Hutt, looking for Petone. Being scrappy and willing and physical contest at the breakdown, putting difficult in these drizzly conditions. Khan Green begins the second half. A low punch down towards the dead ball area, and it sits perfectly on the line, but that's an error by Khan Green, seeking extra distance from the kickoff. So Hutt Old Boys Marist to have a scrum on halfway in centre field, and there is a change for Hutt Old Boys Marist. Ray Mania has come on in jersey 17, and he's marking Alapati Soki on the tight head side. Connor Collins, very good first half from the Hutt Old Boys Marist halfback. In fact, both halfbacks have been excellent in this game, especially given the difficulty of the ruck ball at certain times. Hutt Old Boys Marist backline split 4-2. Collins, a change in direction. Here comes Ainsley, a floater out to Solera, kicks beyond Richard Evans. Ferreira across at the 22. Nice pass for Ben Brooking, a hurried kick. Wobbles down to Alai Fatu. He pivots, he charges. He's well tackled by Ferreira and Richard Evans. 35 metres out from the line. Mapaleo, tackled by Pritchard, who's on 17 for Petone. Asking Ray Mania to call that far down is a sin, but he lost it backwards. Gillies, back slam by Gooch. 40 metres out from the line. Hutt Old Boys Marist resorting to their tight, muscular game, and then Collins floats a kick to Green inside the 22. He draws in 3 defenders and releases for Brooking, who takes the cautious route, a kick down the grandstand sideline. Here's Brandon Lawson. That's a skyscraper. It might catch snow. Underneath it is a Petone player, and he catches it cleanly, and then Ainsley is penalised for offside play. Well, Peter, that's an illustration of some of the kicking we might see in the second half. Territory so important so early in this one.
Seems like the wind's dropped a little bit too, so Hutt can get a little bit of distance with their kicks as well. But I think Petone need to sort of up the tempo a little bit and start moving the Hutt Old Boys pack around a little bit as well.
Substitution for Petone. Ryan Emery is on the field. So there's the afternoon over for Caleb Sinclair. Emery, product of Newlands College. 25 points to his name, 5 tries. He's not far away from his Blazer game. Talking to their manager, Ezra, before the game. Roughly about 2 or 3 more games till he earns his Blazer. But the throw is not straight, so not a first good start there by Emery. And so it's going to be an Eagles scrum, 15 in from touch. Solid physical game. The Eagles really bringing it to us. But what Petone are trying to do really is they're trying to use their speed. That will be quite crucial as the game goes on, particularly with fitness levels.
And Jordan Gillies, he's more annoying than Reggie Miller. He is absolutely getting stuck into Petone, reveling in this McBain Shield contest, and he's now the captain. They've given him more license to talk as if he needs it. So Hutt Old Boys Marist with a stacked open side back line. Collins though goes short side for Saloa, halfway, kick and chase, a scamper for Brooking. He gets it 5 metres out from the line. He's trapped by Saloa though. The Eagles converge rapidly towards the ruck, but they left their feet, and that's a fortuitous penalty.
Well, the Eagles supporters aren't happy about that, but they just ran too quickly off their feet through the side. And so Petone survive again. Khan Green kicks the touch. It's going to be a line out 15 metres away from their try line. Still pressure on Petone. Henry with his second throw. This one's going to be more important. Look for the safe option of Sopawanga or Ross. Ryan Emery. Goes to Sopawanga, has been intercepted, but Gooch has got the ball. That's going to be a free kick. We're going early. Now Lawson there, trying to get the ball. It's a mighty kick, but it's still going to be the Eagles throw because it's a free kick. And so it's going to be an Eagles line out. 11 metres away from halfway, the grandstand touchline. Assistant referee Daniel Magnan caught up his 100th Premier game last weekend. In the Eastern Suburbs equivalent, the Jimmy Gervich match between Porneke and Oriental Rongotai. Ben Power with the throw. His dog now was behind us at the start of this broadcast. We promised good things about Ben, or otherwise the dog was going to maul us. Power throws and well taken by Lafilo. Brandon Lawson skips it now. Jared Adams gets the ball. And it's just travelled forward. The Eagles still hot on attack. Rayasi wrestles forward. They try to hold him up for Tony. This to potentially add a turnover, but the Eagles still have the ball. Connor Collins passes to Power. Power charges forward into Paneru. Paneru over the ball. Garner the turnover. Connor Collins back to Alifatu. Jack Ross wraps him up, but there's an advantage being played for a potential high tackle. Connor Collins with a fancy offload. Mate with the ball. Ball bounces off Jacob Gooch's head. Still Eagles ball. High carry owned by Brandon Lawson, but it has been knocked on by Saloa. But we're coming back for an offside penalty. And so that time Petone is caught off guard again. Decision time here for the Eagles. Brandon Lawson. Calm general, Peter. But Petone, that time, they get incursion into the Eagle half, but just coughing up the ball, Peter. They just need to look after it more carefully.
Exactly, it's just the little things letting them down again. It seems like Hutt have got under their colour, and they're just not performing the way they have. They're like every game they've played so far this year, they've had their stuff together, but today they seem to have fallen apart. But as I said, they're watching the movie. They're watching Hutt and letting Hutt do whatever, and then they're reacting. We need to actually be calling the shots, and we're not.
An inspirational steal by Brad Pritchard. Here comes Richard Evans running into Mania. Ferreira has it 10 out from halfway. Upper Masanga Hearn is on the field. Here comes the vibrant youngsters from Petone. Can they salvage this contest? Henry at halfway. He's strong despite the presence of 4 Eagles. What a superb charge by Henry. Petone 40 metres out, down by 10. 7 minutes played, second half. Alapati Soki, he enjoyed that surge. Good tackle by Power. Sopoanga, Power makes the tackle. Petone 40 metres out from the line. Up in there, he flat-footed. That's a risky pass to Adams. He bumps it on for Mailolo. He's hardly touched the ball in the game. He took a heavy shot from Gillies, who emerges with the ball. Runs sideways stoically. Jacob Gooch all over him. A kick by Collins, straight to Henry. Hesitates, runs, flashes over halfway. Petone looking to build some rear possession. And here comes Adams. And he's met stoically by Ainsley, and he lost the ball forward. And so Hutt swing on to attack. For the ball dribbles over the sideline. 32 minutes left in McBain Shield 87. 2 tries each minutes. Old Boys Marist through the boot of Brandon Lawson, who enjoy the advantage. When those TBCs were on the Hutt Old Boys Marist team sheet today, Brad, there was a rumour that Mark Shaw and Nick Wisdom were going to.
Lots of conspiracy theories flying around about those TVCs. There's even one about the coaches too. Jersey 18 is on the field. Jason Hoffman from the Eagles. South African born product of Huttlee High School. His 39th game this afternoon. And that is Matthew Sleeth coming off the field. Although, no. Yes, he is. Matt Sleeve coming off the field. In 2020 he played for Old Boys University, and there was that famous picture of him with the grinder at the gates of Ian Galloway Park where there was the injured player, and he had his tools from his building site in the back of his truck and he getting grind down the lock on the cage at Ian Galloway because the council locked it.
Absolutely fantastic piece of sportsmanship and initiative that day by Matt Sleep. Essentially, the gate was locked by the council and the player was very seriously injured, so he had to remove his toolkit from the car, wrestle the door open, and they took a photograph of Sleep as the ambulance disappeared into the distance. And I'm glad he uses that type of grind around another one. Here's the situation now. 20 to 10, 2 tries each. Connor Collins is having 3 points. McBain Shield, 87. Half an hour left. The scrum has been an even contest though. Petone had an excellent sequence midway through the first half where they promised. Now here's a mistake. Pereira swings it wide for Evans. At last he's in space, and he's a real flyer. Squid Evans with the kick, intended for Brooking. It's knocked ahead by Collins. Brooking on Lawson. Hutt Old Boys Marist scrambling, a metre out. The Villagers have 4 at the breakdown. Hutt eventually had 5 there. They're a calm side. They're a disciplined side, but Ainsley has failed to find touch. Here comes Brooking. 20 metres out. And tackled by Ainsley. Ferreira fires it left for Apaneru. Stands in the tackle of Ben Power. Fights his way through. Petone 15 metres out. Ferreira, Mailolo, numbers to his right. Brooking for the captain Gucci. And he's 15 metres out from the line. When wrapped up by Hamate. Ferreira. Afamasanga Hearn, this youngster's been good since arriving on the field. Petone 15 metres out from the line. Sopoanga catches on his knees. He's had a prayer. And the ball stuck safely to his chest. Petone 15 metres out. Ferreira, Socky standing still. Powell's ahead. Then Power makes the tackle. Ferreira right. Green for Mailolo. Tackled by Collins. 15 metres out from the line. This is Petone's longest sequence of attack. Afamasanga Hearn, buried by Manaya, who then concedes a penalty. Well, here's a chance for Petone to reduce the score to a converted try. But Khan Green audaciously has opted instead for a line-out. Well, Petone's line-out hasn't always been reliable in this game. Ross has been a major source of possession, but they have had some stumbles in that facet this afternoon. Petone's reserve hooker is Ryan Emery. 47 games for the club. This line-out to take place on the 5x5. 2 years ago, Petone scored 3 tries from rolling balls in the McBain Shield. Emery throws, Sopoanga secures, Ross attaches himself to the drive. Young Pritchard involved. Petone struggled to gain sufficient momentum, but Ferreira has it. And he fires it left for Sopoanga. He twists in the tackle of Gillies, goes to ground, 4 metres out from the line. Afamasanga Hearn again. Petone 2 metres away. The furnace is rising in McBain 87. Petone slither around the corner, and then Ferreira provides for Green, and there is an action replay of the Saloa try, and this time it's Henry in the corner.
Great vision by Khan Green. He saw the overlap and he kicked it crossfield, and Henry has his second. 9 career tries to his name, and with the conversion to come, the score is 20 points to 15. Khan Green there, Peter, saw the overlap and used it effectively well.
Yeah, he just stepped back, saw what was going on, saw that they had the overlap, put the ball across, which was a good kick, and we scored in the corner luckily. But it's still not over. It's 15 to 20, and the conversion to come. But Petone need to keep playing down Hutt Old Boys end.
Can't Green with the conversion. Right on the far touchline, Jordan Gillies has come off the field. It looks like he has a nice pack on his ribcage. He's been in the wars this afternoon, so the inspirational kick gone for the Eagles. Can't Green's conversion. It falls short of the post, so the score is 20 points to 15. 55 minutes gone in this match. Just what the doctor ordered for Petone. Zane Ainsley with the ball on halfway. Petone playing with the wind. But this Eagles side, they're dangerous, they are menace. And Ainsley gets play, he kicks it deep into the 22. And it bounces and Ferreira has to clear. Hoffman tries to charge it down. It's got into touch. And it's going to be a line out for the Eagles.
Well, this game has really changed. The Petone reserves have added a lot of steel and passion and speed. Up in the Sunga Hearn has been exceptional. Pritchard in the line-out has been reliable. And Ferreira, Peter Green, he's just growing in stature in this game, playing a very mature man.
Yeah, he's a young kid and he's just getting better and better as he plays. The more minutes he gets, the better he goes. He's sort of, I think he's sort of made for this level too, so he's going really, really well.
The high kick for Khan Green is taken at the 22. He goes for a dash. He's isolated and caught by Rua. Midfield 20 metres out from the line. Cam Ferreira, another booming right foot pump. Saloa has this one at the 10-metre mark. Yona up an area, superb tackle. But Manaya transfers for Mafaleo. And he's wrestled to ground by Ross in front of the grandstand. 22 metres out. Manaya, that's a formidable sight. He's well taken though by Pritchard, 20 metres out. It's rather predictable Hutt's attack at the moment though. Where's the variety? Where's the width? There's Ben Power, wrestled to the deck by Emery, 20 metres out from the line. Number 19 is on the field, and it's Nipo. And he's tackled by Evans at the 22. Connor Collins, left for Saloa. Alapati Soki with the bear hug and bundle. Get over the sideline, champ. That's beautiful defence by Petone there, Brad.
Fantastic defence, led there by Alapati Soki in his 59th game. Smashing defence, still stuck in there 22, and an important line out for Petone. Mika Alifatu has left the field. He's had a strong game, the number 8 for the Eagles. Emery's line out throw. It finds Ross. The Eagles try to disrupt, but the ball comes back to Green. Green kicks. Lawson under it, comfortable, and he decides to go for the Gary Owen again. Brocking charging up, comfortable under the ball, and he claims the mark. So that time there, Lawson's kick and direction wasn't there at all. This time, it hasn't found touch on the mark, and the ball is in the hands of Richardson. He decides to kick, and it's gone, out of the full. And so the momentum swing is changing, and Petone will have a line out 12 inside Eagles territory. Here's an opportunity here for Petone, Peter Green. They're inside the half and they've got a perfect attacking opportunity.
They've got to win this line out though. That's the most important thing. They're struggling at line out time, they've got to win this line out. They've got it, they're using the ball, let's go wide. Straight up the middle, which is good.
Petone with the ball, it's passed off to Sopawaga. Sopawaga brought down 10 away from the 22. Campbell changes direction, finds Malolo. Eagles defence holding out Petone for now. Jack Ross charging forward, a spirited game by the Centurion. Ferreira finds Green. Sopawaga, they wrap around him quickly. Over the top is Collins, but he loses his footing. Ferreira goes for a rather interesting kick, and Lawson's there, but he's shonked it like a dead pigeon. And that has gone into touch, and it's going to be a line out for Petone. 10 out from the 22, grandstand touchline.
Approaching the final quarter of the McBain Shield, and like the 86 previous matches, this one resembling the close scores and the constant drama of this fine fixture. Upper Masangahern is down for Petone, which has caused a stoppage. He's been hectic since coming on the field at half time. A really strong addition to the Petone back row, Peter, Teddy Upper Masangahern.
Yes, he seems to be working well with Tupou Sapawanga as well, which is going really well. So Jack Ross is having a whale of a game. He's into everything. So there's slowly, in the first half we weren't in the game, second half we're building, slowly building, and this game you can go either way as well. So it's on a knife edge.
Sam Blackburn is on the field for Petone. He brings 40 games of experience. Old boys Marist lost their skipper Jordan Gillies, but Brandon Wilson and Connor Collins, experienced mentors. It's another sloppy line out for Petone, but Jacob Gooch has it 25 metres out. Yona Apaneru, that's a storming run by the tight head prop. Ferreira passes it into Matt Thomas. So that'll be a scrum for Petone, and actually that's not a bad outcome, Brad, because Petone are a little bit cluttered heading around the corner.
Yeah, they certainly were. That time referee Thomas got himself caught between the ball. And so it's going to be a scrum for Petone. Referee Thomas last weekend, in the first 15 fixture, and his calf blew 10 minutes into the second half. I heard that he flew over to Fiji to see the same doctor that Isaki Naholo had. He's out here refereeing a stellar of a game this afternoon.
Because he didn't have the same doctor though, because he didn't get out of the way quick enough. Midfield scrum for Petone, 22 metres out, 19 minutes to play. There's quite a big short side here with Richard Evans in space, one-on-one with Soloa. If Sapawanga can get a clean dispatch here, it's on, but the scrum wheels. And it's a penalty though for Petone. Sapawanga taps it quickly. Hutt boys Marist in retreat. Lawson's tackle. Petone 10 metres away from the line. Yona Apaneru, he's growing in stature. That's a number of carries for him in the second half. Ferreira, numbers left for Petone. Rampage Adams, here flowing in the breeze. Put down 10 metres out. Apaneru at first receiver. He's strong, he's industrious. He's wrapped up by Manaya. Ferreira left for Soki. He's played a good game this afternoon too. Tackled by Tanavasa. 10 metres out from the line. It's a penalty for Petone. Ferreira looking to repeat his heroics from the first half. But Matt Thomas orders Petone back. Well, they haven't kicked the goal this afternoon, Petone. Whereas Brandon Lawson is spotless from the tee. But this is the last 20 minutes of the McBain Shield. More cautious decision making might be advisable, although Petone are going for the line out. Now it was that corner where they scored the winning try in the McBain Shield 2 years ago. It was 25-24 and Petone rumbled over right in front of the Bob Scott sign. How apt that they win a game in front of the sign named after Bob Scott. He's just one of the many characters to play McBain Shield rugby. Alan Hewson below us on the grandstand. Andy Leslie was involved in this fixture. Colin Loader. Sapawanga wins the line out. Petone 5 metres out from the line. They just haven't been able to get their maul going this